G'day, Cambo's back again. Pretty miserable day here, and I'm suffering from the man flu, so I apologise in advance. For number 2, let's see how well this one goes. Thank you for all the encouragement from the Thai vlogging community, really appreciate the words. Big shout out to Johnny, you are a loose fucker, mate, I love it. Look forward to going to Wahin and having a drink with you. I thought what I'd do, I'm in the final countdown to my trip, there's 5 weeks to go. I'd talk a little bit today about what I do to plan my trip. Learn a lot of these tips off fellow YouTubers, so I thought the best way is to share some of those. It's never been cheaper to travel overseas. I'm just a normal working guy, but I can afford to do it twice a year. I do live pretty poor when I'm not there, but using things like Skyscanner and a GoPro, which I'll talk about a little bit more, definitely makes it more affordable. I really don't know how travel agents still stay in business. I know I wouldn't do it. It's half the fun. I don't want to be a lazy fucker and let someone else do that. So I'll talk a bit about that today. I'll talk a bit about what to do when you first get over there. But yeah, let's kick it off. So the first thing I do when I first started traveling was I used to fly to the Gold Coast, fly AirAsia. Now they're a nice airline, but the stopover in Malaysia is shit. It can be 4 to 8 hours. When I went to Vietnam, it was 12 hours, and it's just not a real interesting airport. It's so hard to find a beer, which is a must for any airport. So I kind of caught on from a YouTuber about Skyscanner. There's also I know the pilot as well, but Skyscanner is my one of choice. My last few trips I've flown Thai Airways, and it's cost me, one of my trips I went Brisbane to Bangkok, stayed a couple of days in Pattaya, then Bangkok to Phuket, and then home for under $800. It's super cheap. So the best thing about Skyscanner is that you can jump on, you put the times that you want to travel, your origin, your destination, where you can even, and the filters are outstanding. You've got when you want to leave, how many stops, and the best thing, the real sweet thing, is that you can hit alerts, so you get emails daily to let you know when the prices have gone up or gone down. You know when you've got a book, otherwise you're going to be paying too much. So that's the first thing for me. Skyscanner has saved me heaps. This is probably the most expensive trip for me this time. It's costing me just over $1,000 Australian to travel on Singapore Airlines, but you know, they're a great airline. I'm looking forward to Changi. As I said last week, I'll probably do a vlog from Changi as well. So it's definitely, I think it's worth it on this occasion. The best thing they've just announced, AirAsia have announced that from June, they're going to be traveling from Brisbane to Dong Muang direct, which is a 9-hour flight, and will be from about $300 Australian. So when I go over at Christmas time, that's definitely something that I think I might look at doing. 9 hours on a plane, even being a bigger fella, there's heaps of room on there, so that's something I definitely do. So once that's out of the way, we've booked the air flights. That's always the biggest thing. The other thing I do is my little flights inside of Asia, always use AirAsia. They're the cheapest. You've got Nok Airlines as well, which is the one with the big fucking bird that looks pretty cool. That's definitely one that I would like to travel on, just to fly on the big bird. Once you've done that, then you've got to look for your accommodation. Now there's a few people, there is a school of thought. One of the guys I travelled last time, Dallas from Zuda Travel, the Airbnb, and they can be quite cheap. And you know, in Siem Reap we stayed in a pretty sweet Airbnb. I generally go for motels. There's a few that you can choose from, a few places to choose from. There's Trivago, bookings.com, Hotel Combined, and Agoda. Agoda's always my one of choice. It's just easy. There's a few little tricks as well that you do with Agoda. So what I do is I jump in, I look at the times I'm going to stay, I look at the hotels I want to stay at, or the area. I generally at this stage I've looked on YouTube and found, looked at some reviews, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Jump on there. The beauty of Agoda is that you can pay later. So you make your booking, and what I learned on my last trip is that you book it, it's done dusted. You might pay 2 weeks out, but you keep going back every couple of weeks and doing a search. I saved $150 last time staying at Patong Hemingway Silk, because I just cancelled, rebooked. So that's a really sweet trick to do. you know, it's a go-to for me. I had a bit of a bad experience with booking.com when I went February last year. The Hemingway's group have free motels. I paid for one, which was probably one of the better ones. I got put in the old shitty dingy one, rocked up at the one that I booked, and no, you're not staying here, sir. So that was a little bit disappointing. So for me, a go-to, absolutely one. But if you like Dallas and you like the Airbnb, that's the way to go too. So you've got there, you've booked, you've done all that, you rock up. I still remember my first trip back in 2011. Jumped off the plane. I'd been overseas before, but it was my first trip to Thailand, and I was deer in headlights. There were people everywhere. Security guards look like army, so it was pretty daunting. But now it's just a walk in the park. There's a few things that I absolutely recommend. The first thing is you can book your taxi first. You're looking at, I wouldn't pay more, Phuket to Patong, I wouldn't pay more than 700 to 800 baht, and I wouldn't pay for, if you're going to go from Sunaporn Airport in Bangkok to Pattaya, that's 1,000 baht max. You can do it cheaper, there's buses, but that's your own car. You can have a few sneaky beers in the back while you're going there. Definitely that would be the way to do it. The other thing I'd recommend is that you've got to have a couple of different ways to access your money. Normally what I do, I have my normal day-to-day debit MasterCard. My bank over here in Australia has a travel money card, which I tend to load up when I get paid over there, because you don't get the fees when you pull it out. The exchange rates are normally pretty shit, but and I always carry some cash. This is the best option. You get best value for money. I generally have a secret location, which I'm not going to reveal to you fuckers, where I carry my cash. I try to carry about 1,000 to 1,500 Australian, and what I don't do is I never exchange that at any airport. The only airport that I would exchange it at is downstairs at Sunaporn in Bangkok. The exchange rates in the airports are pretty shit. Generally what I do is I withdraw 2,000 baht, just enough to pay for my taxi, and if I want to jump in the 7-Eleven, grab a coffee or a couple of beers depending on the time, a couple of roadies, and then once I'm checked into my motel, that's when I go down and get my cash. I know a couple of the boys I travelled with last time, they turn it into a bit of a sport. They're regularly looking each day at what the prices are. I just couldn't be stuffed. I just get the money, put it in a day safe in the motel room, and I budget from there. I guess that's just personal preference, what you do. So that's probably one of the biggest tips there. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. I did want to talk about, I find it pretty funny, I've seen a bit of stuff on YouTube this week about this whole India-Pakistan conflict. I'm not going to delve into it too much. All I do want to say is that I'm a bit torn. I know I won't be talking about religion. People that know me know my view on this stuff, but you know, Pakistan do harbour terrorists and that sort of stuff, extremists. But then on the flip side, India has a fuckwit cricket team full of blokes like Dhoni and Kohli, so I'm pretty torn. So I know some people, or one in particular, has been using it to get some hits. I shan't be doing that, but I did want to just have a quick mention, because there's nothing I hate more than the Indian cricket team. Great country, great race, cricket team full of dickheads. So that's pretty much it for this week. Countdown's on, 5 weeks to go, 2 weeks to NRL season, 3 weeks I'm in Sydney with the practice run. Have a great week, guys. Go Manly.